Welcome to Fridays with Seniors. I'm Chari Hinet Elon, filling in for Dr. Peter Legg. In this episode, we're tackling an important issue: renting as a senior, the challenges and housing resources. As the cost of living continues to rise, many seniors face unique challenges when it comes to securing safe, affordable, and stable housing, whether it's dealing with fixed incomes, understanding tenant rights, or finding senior friendly rental options. The process can be overwhelming. Today, we'll explore the key obstacles seniors encounter in the rental market and highlight valuable resources that can make a real difference. From government assistance programs to senior housing initiatives, we'll provide practical insights to help you or your loved ones make informed decisions. This podcast is sponsored by Senior Services Society of BC. And so let's get started. I'm joined today by Zabeena Rahiman, Shine Manager of Senior Services Society of BC, and Wendy Rachwalski, Manager of Community Services of Langley Senior Resources Society. Welcome, Zabeena and Wendy.
Thank you. Thank you, Cherry.
Thank you,
How are you
Sherry.
today?
Doing well, thank you.
That's
Yeah.
great. Wendy, let's start with you. What types of calls do you receive for housing?
So usually when people are reaching out to us, they're in a very desperate situation. They've gotten to the point where their buildings have either been torn down, or they're being evicted for some reason, um, or just that they can no longer afford where they're living.
Where is the most need? You said they can no longer afford where they're living because
Yeah,
of the increase in the rent?
yeah. So what we need is more subsidized housing that is with rent geared to income. Um, what we see is that, and what rent geared to income is 30% of their income. And so what we're finding is seniors are having income of, $1,800 a month. They can't afford the current market rentals. So we need more subsidized rent geared to income.
Yeah. So what does that mean? Can you break it down for us, like subsidized rent to income?
So let's, for example, so if somebody has an income of $1,800 a month, 30% of that would be $600 a month of rent is what
Yeah.
they should be paying. That's in order for them to be able to still be able to afford, food and, having a phone and being able to get around to different places, their medications. What we're seeing is people are giving up food and their medication in order to keep a roof over their head. Things are becoming very dire for seniors because their income is not increasing at the same level as the cost of everything is going up.
Yeah. And so, can you share with us a case study, an example, perhaps, of a family of a senior having both ends meet and trying to have an affordable housing?
Actually, I'll share one actually of as you said, family. It actually
Yeah.
was a family. Something that comes to mind is it was a husband and wife who were in their 70s, and they had a developmentally delayed son who was actually blind and was living with them. They ended up having to leave a home that had been bug infested and were put up in a hotel temporarily by BC Housing. When they came to us, the funding from BC Housing had ended. So that we had to find them a place. And it was a challenge because we had three people, one gentleman who was blind, living, like I said, in a hotel room that had two beds for the last year. Uh, we found out that they hadn't done their taxes for several years. Um, we found out they had food insecurity. They were really struggling. Their income was not stabilized in any way. So when they came into us, our first priority was finding housing, and we worked as a community with others other organizations to find and secure housing, and then also stabilize their income.
Yeah.
So we got their taxes done, and then we were able to apply for SAFER for them. Um, and food insecurity, like I said, was also an issue because they didn't have a lot of funds. So we had to, set them up with food for a while, and medical support for them. So once they came to us, we sort of did the wraparound services to get them all the supports that they needed.
Yeah. So they already have an affordable housing, like
They do
provide.
now.
Yes. Okay.
They
That
do
is good.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
it
yeah.
it was touch and go, and because finding something that's also affordable, and it was three people we're looking at, so it's not just your basic subsidized. We end up working with a really wonderful landlord out here who gave us a
Yeah.
very good price. We need more of those out here.
Yeah. And could you say like about how many families, how many seniors get into this kind of problems?
Every week we've got probably another person coming to us, and they are either homeless or on the verge of being homeless. When I started here a few years ago, I was told there's no homeless seniors in Langley, but there are. And they are couch surfing and they are living under bridges because they cannot make ends meet anymore. Nobody can survive on $1,800 a month when rent so often is on average 15, 16, $1,700 a month itself.
Yeah.
We reached out to a place the other day and they had a studio and it was $1,600 for a studio. And it's just not attainable.
And so, Zabina, how does Shine help into this?
Thank you, Cherry. And Wendy, thank you for sharing that. It's something that we see in the work that we're all doing across the lower mainland and across the province. One thing I just want to highlight is the importance of programs like the Shine program. So, what we do in the Shine program as a community organization, we partner up with organizations across the communities in British Columbia, and we provide navigation services to seniors relating to housing, income, and connecting them to supports that they need across the province. Because, as Wendy mentioned, there are many gaps that the seniors come to us are facing income gaps, gaps connections to, not doing their taxes, not having medical supports, food insecurity. So it's basically navigating systems and connecting seniors to the resources and supports that they need. One thing I wanted to share, and it's important for people out there to know, one of the important things or the first steps towards finding affordable housing is actually applying for a BC housing file number. Whether or not you're applying to live at a BC housing building or not, having a BC housing file number is important because of a lot of the affordable housing providers across the communities actually access the BC housing registry and they use that information to select clients themselves as well. So it's really important to have a BC housing file number as well as to maintain your file by calling and having it updated every 6 months. That keeps your file alive with the registry and failing to do that would make your file inactive and maybe you could be missed for a housing opportunity that could come up. So it's the work that we do in our Shine program as navigators across the province that know these things and that can turn around and help the clients that we work with connect, in these kind of pieces and advocate for things like that. Because once there's a gap, it's can be quite daunting to bridge.
Yeah. So,
Um,
Zabina, how can they file for a BC housing file number and who are qualified to apply for this?
Yeah, so they can actually apply online if they have access to online platform. They can apply at a BC Housing office. They can contact their local community organizations, like ourselves at Senior Services, Wendy with in Langley Senior Resource, and community organizations across the neighborhoods in the Lower Mainland and in the province can help people apply for BC Housing file number.
Yeah. And so you've mentioned some of the services being offered by Shine program. What else are the specific services being offered by Shine?
Yeah, so if you imagine how we used to apply for a job, we would look at the classifieds in the paper, and that's where we would get the connection. But now, so many things are web-based, and there's seniors who are, may not have access to technology or may not know where to look. So that's the key piece of where we come in to provide that connection to resources in the community, be it a connection to housing, a connection to income, helping them with, where to go for this and where to go for things like getting their taxes done and how important it is for seniors to file their taxes every year, especially the low income seniors who do rely on the GIS supplement because every year it's based on your income. And if you don't do your taxes by April the 30th, you could be at risk of having that cut off and then having to reapply. And, there's a big gap there in your income that could put you at risk of, potentially losing your housing.
Wendy, how else do you help the seniors?
Help them in so many different ways. We connect them to different resources within the community. And like Zabeena said, if somebody comes in and they need their taxes done, we can help that. We will stabilize their income. So if they need to get GIS or safer applications completed, some people, if they haven't reached 65, maybe they need to apply for their CPP or their OAS.
Yeah.
So we will help navigate finances. We will help them get deals through, the telephone companies wherever we can. We advocate for what their needs are, and we try as much as we can to stabilize their income.
But would you say that housing is one of the most prevalent problems among seniors in BC?
Definitely,
Yeah.
because housing is something that everybody needs. But the cost is, like I said before, so high. And well, as we were talking about before, with seniors' income, I think the stat is so 85% of the seniors have an income below $60,000 a year.
Mhm.
And then 51% have an income below 35,000. And if you have an income of 35,000 a year, you have to have rent of $875 in order to be able to make all your other ends meet. That's just not feasible in the
Yeah.
market the way it is now. And seniors are on a fixed income. It's not like they have jobs or things like that. But yet we're seeing seniors actually having to work, and they're
Yeah.
working into their 70s when their health is not very good, only so they can make ends meet. And
Yeah.
that's not, they need to be able to be relaxing and enjoying all of that they've done so far.
That is so true. And so,
Yeah.
Zabina, and of course,
Hmm.
Wendy, what are the resources and the solutions that we offer for this problem for among the seniors?
Well, I think connecting to an organization is key if you don't know where to turn to. For instance, we have a good working relationship with our contacts with Service Canada, CRA, the Ministry of Social Development and Poverty Reduction. So we're often acting as the go-between between the client and organizations like this. And sometimes if somebody has waiting for their OAS or their CPP or their GIS to come in, sometimes it's just a call that they need to confirm that, their application has been received. And that's where we can come in with these valuable partner connections we have to these community partners. So together we're all just a team of, um, agencies that are here to support the clients with bridging these gaps that they may face.
Yeah, and we are very thankful for the Shine program. What would be the impact if the Shine program does not continue?
Well, you can imagine as we've both talked about the barriers that seniors face, and we happen to be the ones, the organizations in the work that we do that help try and bridge these gaps. We're the connection piece to that. So it's just going to make things that much more difficult if organizations and programs like the Shine program, you know, aren't aren't there anymore, for lack of a better word. And you think about also how important it is to have staff in these roles, and staff turnover is could be impacted. And with having a trusted connection to a worker that already knows you're familiar with your file. These seniors that are coming to us are already in such vulnerable situations, and it sometimes takes one or two appointments before they can open up and share with us. So that trusted relationship of feeling at ease when they know they have someone that's going to be able to advocate for them, we would hate to see that go, and we would hate to see the gaps just widen, um, if that happens.
Yeah. Wendy, is there something else that you'd like to add?
We just need some changes. We need changes to safer. Like we've talked to the seniors advocate, Dan Levitt, he's phenomenal. And we need increases to safer. Things are needed to be changed for seniors so that they can live and live
Yeah.
healthy lives.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. To
We also
yes.
need to maintain the affordable housing that is out there. That's
Yeah.
another real big point. Is I think I've got another stat here. So between 2016 and 2021 in BC, we saw a loss of 100,000 homes that had rent below $1,000.
Yeah.
If we maintain these places, that's where seniors are going to need to be homed, and somewhere that's safe. That they don't need a big shiny building.
Hmm.
These are their homes for 40 years and they're happy there. As long as the building's in good condition, let's keep those buildings.
Yeah. How about
Yeah.
you, Zabina? Anything to
Yeah.
add?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, connecting to a housing navigator is so key to a vulnerable senior in this rental market that we have. We help with advocating with housing providers. We can connect them to income support programs, financial assistance programs. Oftentimes, we can prevent eviction if the senior is at risk for financial reasons. We do case planning and action steps, like we work with the client to get them secure in, whether it's to do with finances or whether it's to do with housing. The advocacy piece is huge in the work that we do, and it's really important to be there in the community.
Yeah. And if they need to reach out to you, they need your help, where could they connect with you, Wendy?
So Langley Senior Resource Society, our direct number is 604-530-3020. And then they can just ask for any of our navigators who would help them. And our website is lsrs.ca.
Thank you so much, Wendy. And you, Zabina?
Cherry, I'd like to point anyone that's looking for housing to our housing finder tool on our website. So if you'd like to visit our website at sbc.ca, we have a heading called Housing Finder, and there's tabs that you can select to the area that you're looking for and the type of housing that you're looking for. It's a good resource that I'd like to welcome anybody that's listening to take a look at to look for housing. They can reach us at Senior Services Society of BC. Telephone number is 604 520 6621. They can ask for anybody in the housing team, and one of our partners will be more than happy to give you a call and speak with you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Zabina and Wendy. That's a wrap for another insightful episode of Fridays with Seniors. I'm Chari Hinati Elon, and it's been an absolute pleasure filling in for Peter Lag today. We know that navigating the rental market as a senior can be challenging, but remember, you are not alone. There are resources, support systems, and communities ready to help you find a safe and comfortable home, whether it's exploring housing assistance programs, understanding your tenant rights, or connecting with senior friendly rental options. Knowledge is power. Thank you once again for spending your time with us today. Your engagement, questions, and willingness to learn to make these conversations so valuable. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to share it with friends and family who might benefit from it. Until next time, stay informed, stay empowered, and most importantly, stay inspired. Take care. We'll see you again on Fridays with Seniors. This podcast is sponsored by Senior Services Society of BC.